Welcome, everyone. My name is Nate Atala, and I am one of the business managers here at D&H Distributing that represents our modern infrastructure practice. We're so thankful today to be having two amazing friends and partners joining us today, Ali Jockerman and Dan Dulac from Extreme Networks. And they're going to deliver some information, Ali first, regarding some really exciting news around their Platform One offer and how that helps both Extreme and network-minded resellers in general consolidate and manage their customers' networks. And then Dan is going to speak to us a little bit around how the managed services consumption model through Extreme Networks helps solve for MSPs. It allows them to consume licensing in a way that aligns with their business. Just a few housekeeping notes. If anyone has any questions, please feel free to use the Q&A box, and we'll try to answer them in real time for you. And likewise, at the end of our presentation here, we will have some live Q&A. So if anyone has any questions that are appropriate for the wider audience, please feel free to put those in there. We'll save them for the end and have some discussion. Without further delay, I will turn it over to Ali.
Thanks, Nate. And I'm Ali Jockerman. I'm Vice President of Product Management for Extreme Networks, and I'm super excited to be here with you today to talk about our brand new offering, Extreme Platform One. In addition, our managed service provider program. And when you combine those two together, that's what helps hit the easy button for our managed service providers. We've tried to take the complexity out of your business, which we all know complexity equals cost. And when we can make things simple, that's just money in your pocket. So why don't we just dive right in? Just to get a little legal piece out of the way, our safe harbor statement, just to make sure that because we do have some forward-looking statements, you can't hold anything against me. And I've satisfied my legal department that I've shown you this statement. But I want to dive in just a little bit about Extreme Networks in case there's anyone on the call that's not familiar with us. We're a company that's been around for almost 30 years, born in Silicon Valley. We are over 1.3 billion in annual revenue, 3,000 plus employees, and we're in more than 80 countries, global company. And we're super proud that we're a 6-time leader in Gartner's Magic Quadrant for wired and wireless LAN. Not our only products, we do SD-WAN and security, but we have made that Magic Quadrant a number of times. So you may or may not have seen, we did a press release in December around our very new product called Extreme Platform One. And it's really our evolution from hardware company to a SaaS company to a platform company. And we're going to go into a lot of details of what do we mean when we're talking about Platform One. And then in February, we announced our managed service provider program, which was really built from the ground up with managed services providers in mind. I've worked for some companies where they've taken programs, slapped some lipstick on it and said, oh, now it's an MSP program. Well, this really was built from the ground up specifically for MSPs. And when you put the power of the platform, the power of AI, the power of our MSP program, that's where you get that easy button for MSPs. So when we talk about Platform One, what were we really trying to solve for customers? And when you look around, networking and security have become even more complex. So many applications, interfaces, logins. I'm sure you're all familiar with swivel chairing between these things. Again, some of our competitors I've worked with, they are grow up by acquisition, and they never truly integrated their offerings. And so with even buying from that same company, you have to log into multiple applications to manage the network. That silo also impacts AI. AI is still new, there's so much potential, but not living up to its promise when you can't look at everything together because of these silos. And then finally, what we've heard throughout my career is how complex licensing is. It's fragmented, there's too many licenses, it's hard to buy, manage, renew. It is the chief complaint of customers, even having to hire people to manage licensing, full-time employees just to manage licensing. Now, I will say, I've worked for a lot of different companies. Extreme Networks has one of the more simplistic licensing models, but we've made it even more simple. So, okay, what is Platform One? Basically, it's a ratified, simplified enterprise connectivity platform that makes secure connectivity easy. So think about a composable workspace that includes network management, security, and AI at its core. And this workspace goes really beyond just your traditional configuration, deploying, and troubleshooting. We've expanded the capabilities for that NetOps persona. So it's really about designing, deploying, configuring, deploying, and troubleshooting, which leads to learning that goes back into your design. So it's a nice racetrack of that full life cycle experience. Not only do we have a NetOps persona, we also have our SecOps persona. So same type of life cycle experience, but now think about what you would do from a security perspective: policies, compliance, remediation, et cetera. We also have a business persona within this workspace. So think about your procurement folks that are interested in how many licenses do I have? When are they up for renewal? How do I manage these licenses? What are my contracts and subscriptions? And what we do is all based on role-based access. So your personas can see what they need to see, but don't have to see things they don't need to see or you want them to see. This is all built on top of and works with our universal wired and wireless hardware, our SD-WAN, our security. So think of network access control and zero trust. It works with our ecosystem of partners, and it also works with third-party devices. So as you're looking to migrate from one to the other, we can manage that whole network, even if it's beyond just Extreme. So to summarize Platform One, we've created a truly integrated experience, no more swivel chairing. And that integrated experience, as Dan will go through, is from that multi-tenant MSP view all the way down into that enterprise view. And you can seamlessly go back and forth. So you can have that holistic view, dive into an enterprise view, switch from one customer to the other customer, back to the holistic view. It's all integrated, whether I want to go from networking to security, again, all encompassed into this one composable workspace. We've also created automation enhanced by built-in AI. So AI is included in the licensing, and there's different levels of AI that I'll talk about in a second. And then finally, we've simplified licensing. Our licensing includes all the components that you need in a single license. So I'm going to give you a little video so you can see exactly what I'm talking about with this workspace and give you a really good sense of how this works.
Discover a totally new approach to enterprise connectivity. Extreme Platform One, combining networking, security, and AI into one powerful experience. Extreme Platform One radically simplifies the way teams across your organization manage and secure your network. With a new fully integrated workspace, everything you need to do your best work is in one easy-to-use experience. Automate and accelerate workflows. Boost productivity with built-in AI. All with one login on any device you choose. Let's say one of your users is claiming to have connectivity issues. Instead of spending hours troubleshooting, you can use Extreme AI Expert, which intelligently understands context across your network. Combined with Intel connectivity analytics, included in your license, you'll instantly get a detailed view of the client experience for devices with Intel wireless solutions. It looks like the issue was an outdated Wi-Fi driver. Just download the conversation with Extreme AI Expert, send it to the client team, and the problem is solved. Creating a new security policy is straightforward, but it can introduce additional tasks. On Extreme Platform One, tap into Extreme AI Expert to instantly generate specific policy recommendations that reduce risk. Now you're ready to manage network access for devices. It's policy and access together, done in one. Extreme Platform One delivers a multi-layer visualization of your entire infrastructure for discovery and design. Drill down through countries, cities, buildings, floors, connections, and individual assets. Explore secure network segments. And with the help of Extreme AI Expert, gain a broad and deep understanding of your network to identify gaps or capacity issues and speed impact analysis, easily and intuitively. With Extreme Platform One, what once took hours, days, or even weeks, now takes just moments. Extreme Platform One. It's the one for all.
A little bit into our AI core, we have different levels of AI that we'll be delivering. The first is conversational. So think about your chat GPT. It's very natural language. You can ask questions. It has access to all of our data, to your network data, to our documentation, easily to get help. The next level is interactive. So these are dashboards that can be created with your operational data. So you can have these always on dashboards. You can create your own charts and graphs that are sitting there for you to look at whenever you need them. And then our more sophisticated AI capabilities, what we call autonomous agents. So think about that as engagement where you can perform much more complex tasks with or without human intervention. So an example I'd like to give is maybe like a service agent. The service agent, you can go in and it can tell you what's at issue with the device. It can then give you all those data and logs for that device. It could package that up into a GTAC trouble ticket that automatically gets sent to the appropriate party. And then you can set up automatic statusing. So if the status is changed on that trouble ticket, you will get alerted for that trouble ticket. So that would be an example of a service agent that you could leverage within our AI. Again, all about automation, simplifying, taking time and cost out of your business. So we have a little poll that we would love for everybody to answer. We're looking to get some information about where you are in your AI journey. So how would you describe your organization's current use of AI? Fully integrated into operations, experimenting with AI in selected areas, exploring AI but not yet using it, and not currently using AI. I'm going to give folks a little bit of time to answer. All right, we're not quite halfway there. Okay, I'll give one more minute. All right, got to get at least to 50%. All right, let's see where we are. So it looks like most people are experimenting with AI in selected areas, which is great because now we've got a platform that we can help experiment and learn together with. And hopefully we can move you up that stack to having this fully integrated into your operations. So finally, the third bucket of what we are trying to solve is licensing. And in our licensing model, you basically have within a Platform One subscription, you've got your networking and security features. We have AI that's bundled in. So the conversational, the interactive, and some level of autonomous agents are included within your license. Some of the agents, autonomous agents, will be more on a pay-per-use basis. And then TAC and OS is also included within that single license. So I am now going to hand it over to my partner, Andy Dulek, to talk about the MSP program and the wraparound that we have.
Awesome. Thank you, Allie, and well done on your patience with the poll survey. I knew we could get to 50%, so good call. 1 minute feels like 10. So good patience on that one. And hello, everybody. Again, my name is Dan Dulak. I'm Vice President of our Strategic Go-to-Market Programs here at Extreme, one of which is our MSP specialization. So I'm excited to spend the next few minutes with you and tell you about some of the goodness of our MSP program and how important Platform One is in the delivery of the specialization on all the great things Ali just mentioned can be applied to not only a single customer, but an entire set of customers that are being managed by you and or any other Extreme MSP partners. So with that, let's drill right into it. First and foremost, some of you on the line may already be managed service providers. Some of you may not or are considering it. But suffice it to say, certainly this is a trend, a managed service offering capability. There's lots of as-a-service models that exist today. Storage as a service, infrastructure as a service, network as a service, compute as a service, you name it. There's tons of options and offerings out there. And that trend's going to continue. Just given the complexity, I think, with AI, with market risk and uncertainty, certainly that we're all living through today, the roller coaster ride, so to speak, a lot of businesses are strongly considering outsourcing or having an expert manage their infrastructure so they could focus on their core competencies, their core business competencies, and not necessarily technology or IT per se. And these are just some of the statistics that indicate such. So I certainly would encourage any of you on the call who are considering MSP or really haven't, maybe you should, and as a way to kind of expand your business at really, as we've seen, and I'll share about, drive a predictable reoccurring revenue model, which I think all of us business leaders on this call, we absolutely love and would depend on, right? And gives us business strength and stability. So the trends are strong. As it relates to MSP specifically, you saw this slide before with AI at the core. Every one of our products is supported and managed for our MSP operators. So one of the unique value propositions with our MSP offering is an MSP partner could choose one technology, say wireless only to start, and then grow into maybe wired switching, maybe SD-WAN, maybe our universal ZTNA, right? So it's not an all or nothing. You could start small and grow, or we've got some MSPs who have bitten off a big bite of the apple and say, we're going to offer all of this as part of our go-to-market offering. So you have the flexibility of choose, maybe bolstering your existing MSP offering with one of these technologies or solutions to fill a gap, or just significantly, stretch the offering that you have today. Of course, there are lots of ways we can apply this Platform One technology in the context of a managed service provider. Certainly AI for troubleshooting and helping you consistently achieve your SLAs. We believe AI is a key brand new tool to do that. Kind of gives you the ability to maybe see around the corner before you get to the corner, to proactively get ahead of potential issues or potential situations as well. AI is going to change the way as the way we learn the technology and the tools and the way we use them. So it's really going to help optimize how much time you and your team spend learning new capabilities, learning feature releases, technologies. You can ask AI for a summary. You can ask AI how to do things. You can ask the AI, I've got this business problem I'm trying to solve. What would be your recommendation? What feature set would be best to apply to solve maybe that technical challenge or whatnot? So lots of great use cases here. Ali touched on this before. Platform One for enterprise obviously is in the context of an enterprise user or a customer, but that plugs into our multi-tenant workspace. So you can easily, say, convert a self-managed infrastructure over to a managed service infrastructure with a couple of mouse clicks. And so the platform is just that. It's plug and play. Platform One for MSP workspace is really it is the multi-tenant UI that call it a traditional enterprise user will not get. That's specific to our MSP operators, is the MSP composable workspace. One of the, probably aside from Platform One, right tight next to it, shoulder to shoulder, as far as the most feedback we've gotten from our 50 or so MSPs globally currently, is our consumption post-paid billing model. And what that means is we provide all of our MSP partners a pool of licenses that our MSPs dictate when and where those licenses get assigned. Then once those licenses are assigned and activated, the billing only happens at the end of the month for an average of license consumption over that first 25 days. So that's why it's a post-paid. We don't ask any of our MSPs to prepay or pre-buy. It's all a post-paid based on consumption, based on actual use. That is, again, been a high positive feedback item that is, we believe, to be very unique in the industry. And as Ali mentioned earlier, we built the entire framework of our MSP offering from the bottoms up with this very thing in mind, because we didn't want it to be a bolt-on or try to force fit a term contract into an MSP offering, which is what you see a lot today with other OEM MSP vendors. We took the opposite approach. Let's build exactly what makes sense for the business practice and business model of a managed service provider, and then build out our solution that way. And so the predictable revenue stream that we see and have realized just in the 50 or so partners are realizing this today, which is, it's awesome. It's kind of like that. The analogy I like to put is we all pay a cell phone bill every month. We're used to paying it every month. We pay it on time every month. And if the price doesn't change, we don't even open the bill. We just pay it. If the price goes up, we obviously want to see why. What service did I inadvertently add, or did price increase? Where did it increase or whatnot? But you get in that payment habit, and that predictable revenue as an operator just keeps flowing, which is very nice for our business models. We do offer a 3-year price protection lock. So as an MSP partner signs our MSP agreement, from the date of that executed agreement, we provide a 3-year price lock for that managed service provider, again, so that our MSPs can really build out their business model and practice and perhaps their end user contracts in order to build a very stable, predictable pricing scheme. As I mentioned earlier, you can bolster your existing MSP offerings with some or all of the portfolio options that Extreme brings to bear here, in addition to obviously layering on your own support and services and maybe other technologies as well that you can bundle in. And the last point here that I wanted to call out is clearly, and we see this even with our most loyal Extreme customers, users, there's no network is 100% purple or 100% blue or 100% orange. It's heterogeneous. There's a mix of different technologies and vendors. And so we really believe that the third-party device management via Platform One is very important. So you can not only manage the Extreme technology assets and infrastructure, but also third-party, and weave all that into Platform One and that consistent experience and workflow. All of that stuff, we've got a rich API. Our AI engine uses our APIs as well. And then, of course, if you've got integration hooks or want to, outside of AI, integrate Platform One with other operational tasks, there's a suite of API calls that can obviously be leveraged for integration with ticketing systems or whatnot. So that's freely available for you as well. So let me just quickly double click on the key value pillars. I'll summarize this for you. I could actually spend an entire 30 minutes on this one slide, but I won't do that to you. I want to just call out that really key three key value pillars. At a high level, I always like to think about how do we help our partners grow revenue, lower their costs, reduce the risk, their business risk, right? In that high level context. So in the case of growing revenue and or profitability, obviously the post-paid consumption model is a key one. There's no heavy upfront cash outlay to get a customer on the program, on your in your operation. It's post-paid. And like I said, once we get a customer into that monthly billing cadence, it becomes very predictable. We have a no minimum commit. That's another key differentiator that you see in a lot of other OEM MSP offerings, is there's a minimum of, say, 12-month or 24 or 36-month commit. We have no minimum commit. And as I mentioned, we have a 3-year price lock for an MSP from the date of their signing on to our program. We've also got discount tiers. The more you grow, the more we grow, we want to incentivize you on that. And so as you grow in number of managed devices under your MSP offering, we apply discount tiers. So we have a four tiers of discount, a tier 1, 2, 3, and 4, and they all have, as you go up in tiers, there's more discount. The key difference with that is once you go, say, from tier 1, which goes 0 to 500 devices, once you go to between 500 and 10,000 devices, you get into tier 2. I think there's 5, if memory serves me, 5 or 6% more discount, more points of discount in tier 2. That discount applies across your entire customer estate, all your MSPs, not just the license 501 to 550. No, that applies across all of your licenses. So that's a pretty valuable margin benefit in that as you grow, you're getting and earning more margin as you grow the number of customers and the number of activations of managed devices. So that's the key one. How do we help you grow revenue and or profitability? That's a key one there. Reducing risk and simplifying operations. So this, again, a key tenet. How do we help you reduce your risk, take cost out? I mentioned this earlier. We assign our MSPs their own license pool. So you have full control. There's no having to pre-buy term licenses, set POs up, transact POs through D&H or Extreme. You manage and run your license pool. As soon as you assign those licenses via Platform One workspace for MSP, those licenses automatically get triggered and the billing process will automatically start. So it's super, super simple. And then the AI-based unified multi-tenant management, the amount of use cases that are coming out of this really are just on the precipice of exploding. I don't think many of us realize yet the number of use cases we haven't even dreamed of yet that AI is going to solve for us without really any code work or integration work, on the platform. And I'll wrap this with the third leg of the stool, so to speak. And again, helping grow in the context of helping you grow revenue. It's one platform that can enable multiple service offerings. I mentioned earlier, we have obviously a very strong and differentiated wireless LAN technology, a wired LAN technology, and as Ali mentioned, being in the leader of the Gartner MQ for 6 years in a row now, we've definitely done our homework and worked very hard to maintain that position. And of course, all of our MSPs can benefit from these world-class solutions as well. So our wired wireless fabric, our universal zero trust network access, or otherwise known as UZTNA, and then our SD-WAN capability as well. So the last piece on this is flexible deployment models. So we have the ability, obviously, as 100% cloud-based management, meaning there's no requirement to deploy any software on customer site or customer premise. Or you can. There are some use cases where customer needs a different level of coverage, capability, a different paradigm. We can do on-prem or a mix or a hybrid. So again, that gives you the provider the most flexible deployment options, all billed the same, regardless of on-prem, cloud, hybrid. The licensing structure is the same. You have the flexibility to deploy the right architecture that you see fit to deliver the best quality of service. So again, those are in a quickly distilled format, our value pillars there. Here is the pricing and volume tiers as far as the discount structure and the volume tier, as I mentioned. We definitely want to reward you for growth, since obviously you grow, we grow, D&H grows. We want to reward you for that. So when we sign on a brand new MSP, we actually start our MSP on tier 2 for the first 12 months. We want to, obviously help you get jump started with the program. help you earn some solid margins straight out of the gate. At the end of the 12 months, if you have exceeded the 500, as illustrated in this table here, you remain at tier 2. If not, you go down to tier 1. Now, obviously, we want to help, and I have personally done this with many of our current MSPs, make sure that by the end of year 1, we've gotten over that 500 device mark, so we can maintain that tier 2 discount. And of course, we want to help a lot of our partners go to 3 and 4. And I think I mentioned this now 3 times, the price lock. 3-year price lock here, that's important for you to build, obviously, a predictable price and rates for your clients. So Ali, I'm gonna pause there and give you a chance to maybe just talk quickly about our multi-tenant workspace here. You mentioned a few things. Obviously, there are the interface here, and one of the things I wanted to stress is the demo we saw, the video demo we saw, was very, call it enterprise focused, an enterprise user, an enterprise business solely. That plugs into that infrastructure, that capability plugs directly into our multi-tenant workspace, or think of it as like a mother of managers, where in context, you could start at the 30,000 foot view and go all the way down to the 1 foot view at maybe an individual device that's sitting on a client site, all within the context of this workflow. So extremely powerful, no swivel chair, it's all in here, the licensing, the management of the entire set of customer estates in real time. All your licenses can be tracked and allocated here, as well as manage all your customer networks, all through the Platform One interface here. And then I think about this as one of 2 ways, and the flexibility here is as follows. You may have a traditional enterprise customer who's managing their own infrastructure today, leveraging Platform One, but again, due to complexities, change in market dynamics or market wins, or business practice, they are looking potentially to outsource their IT to an MSP, maybe one of our partners, one of you on this call. With Platform One, that is super easy. The Platform One Enterprise plugs directly into Platform One for MSPs for that holistic view with literally 2 or 3 mouse clicks. It's that simple. It's so the migration, or vice versa, could happen. Maybe you have an MSP client that's decided they want to start to manage on their own. They want to transition that direction. No problem. With Platform One on there for their instance, we can simply break that link between MSP Workspace and Platform One, and they can then migrate. So it gives our collective businesses that flexibility to mitigate risk, a what-if scenario. And we hear this all the time when we're trying to sell our offerings to clients and so forth. If we can mitigate risk, all the better of our chances of winning some new accounts. So that was the high level there. Ali, I don't know if there was anything on these last couple of charts that I missed that maybe you want to highlight real quick, but that was kind of the context of the MSP detail here.
When you log in, this is kind of your basic overview. You got your cup of coffee. Is anything on fire? Let me deal with that. And we have much more detailed information by technology. So you can go into your wired and wireless assets, and we have certain widgets that are relevant to that. SD-WAN has different things, security. So it's really what's relevant to that technology. So that's my hair and fire. What do I need to deal with? We have the ability to onboard new tenants very seamlessly. So you can create your tenant. We have places where you can add your own identifiers so that that identifier can track all the way through to billing. It's all in one simple workflow where you set up your tenant. You can allocate licenses to that tenant. You can, if you want to give them admin access, you can create admin access. So all within that single flow. You can drill into a tenant at any single time to see exactly what account they're in, how many licenses are they using, how many licenses have they been allocated. We have that tenant view. You can also manage all of your licenses and subscriptions in here, as well as set up teams to assign to a particular tenant. So if you want your West region to handle these clients, your East region to handle these clients, you can assign those teams to those specific clients. So you have an admin that just looks at these 10 customers. That's all they see would be those 10 customers. And then, as we mentioned, if you need to look at a particular tenant, you can add this button and you can click on that tenant. And now that tenant is up here, or you'll see that tenant. And if you notice, this is the left-hand nav when you're in the MSP world. And then when you get into the tenant world, you basically have driven into the enterprise networking. So now when I'm at the tenant view, it's doing everything at that tenant level, but I can easily pop back and forth between tenants or between a tenant and my, super MSP view. So we're trying to make it super simple for you to be able to manage things. This is the state of wherever you're in remains. So if I'm looking at this tenant, then I want to jump to this tenant, back to this tenant. Your work is all held and saved, so you can easily move back and forth depending on what your, the immediate action that needs to be taken. And we have this, this isn't just, Chartware, this is up and running and live, and we would be happy to do much more in detail demos of the platform for anyone. We were a little nervous of doing a live demo in a webinar because we all know how that goes, but we'd be happy to do one-on-one demos for anyone that's interested.
No matter how much I pray to the demo gods, Allie, they never follow through for me. So yeah,
yes,
smart move.
Exactly. So we have another poll. What do you see as the biggest opportunity for AI-driven infrastructure in managed services? This has got a lot of answers, a lot of choices. We'll give it a little extra time to think about it. But as you can see, we think AI is a huge game changer. We're investing a lot of money in building out our AI for automation and how we can, like I said, make the easy button for you. So this will help us understand how you're thinking about AI and how we want to best invest our resources with AI. And I'm sure it's kind of all of them, but what do you think would be the most impactful to your business? And while folks are answering, Dan, is there anything else we want to highlight?
I don't think so. There's some good questions that we'll definitely take a few minutes to answer here. So I'll kind of wait for that opening. But no, I think we covered the foundation here, Allie. Thank you.
So I will answer one question that came up during your session around our licenses and the tiers and the pricing. This is truly a consumption model. So you can go up, you can go down. You're only going to be paying for licenses that are in use at any time. And as long as you stay within your band, you will be paying, you will get that discount. Now, certainly if you go from $500 to $499, we're not going to drop you down.
Right.
It's not like it's automatic, that billing, you'll automatically get billed at that lower level. It's one of those things that if we see, that the business is declining or what have you, then maybe customers would move down. We hope everyone's just going to continue to move up, and we will move you up to those lower discounts. But you only pay for licenses in use each month. And all you have to do is go into a device, make it unmanaged, and you will no longer be invoiced for that license. All right.
Yeah, just one little bit of detail I'll just add on to Allie's comment there. The way that works is for day 1 through day 25, we take the average license consumption over those first 25 days of the month. So that gives you the ability to burst up, down, right? We take the average use, the average count, and then that's what's billed on day 26. And then definitely we try to, get those invoices going ahead of your billing to your client, so that it gives you a few days at the end of the month, obviously to get all the the billing automation in place. But we think that is, again, very differentiated and very flexible for our MSPs to, again, as the license pool is moving around, it's not if you activate it once, you get billed for that license for the month. No, it's the average activation over the month, which is we believe very, very fair, and our partners love it.
Let's see. So definitely around automating routine tasks and support, which we are definitely doing, and then optimizing resource allocation and cost efficiency as a second, and then kind of peanut butter spread across the others.
It's great. Thank you all for your feedback. This is awesome.
All right, Dan.
Yeah. So, as it relates to, if you're interested, well, how do you get started? What's next? So let me just give you a quick flyby on what the process looks like. We believe it's very simple. Obviously, we would like to meet with you. Obviously, answer any additional questions you have. Talk about your business plan. Talk about some of the certification requirements, because again, as a managed service provider, you would take on the level 1, level 2 support for your clients. Extreme Networks would obviously back you for level 3 and beyond, leveraging our world-class 100% in-source service support team. So they would back end you as well. But again, to make sure you're able to deliver those level 1, level 2 support services, there is a certification requirement. We believe it's very flexible. There's some video on demand options. There's test out options. We could talk through that at length at any time. Then there's a MSP agreement or program terms, right? It's a very short, simple document. It's not like taking out a mortgage. We have purposely made it, very simple. Once those terms go in, typically it's a 24 to 48 hour turnaround time to get those terms accepted. And then again, in this case, D&H, for all of you as D&H partners here, D&H would weigh in and offer their approval as well, just to make sure everybody's in line. And then the provisioning begins. We obviously provision as a super admin your pool of licenses, and then we're off and running. So it's a very simple, straightforward process. And so again, as a first step and maybe as a call to action, get with the Nate and team here. They'll loop Allie and myself wherever else is needed, and we're happy to have any more detailed conversations go forward on the program offering. But this just gives you a quick highlight of the program and how we would onboard. One last bit before we kind of open it up for some additional Q&A here. Just a quick commercial. We are now nearing episode 3 of a 6-episode global webinar series or video series on Platform One, with episode 3 coming up on April 17th. This will really focus and go deep on our AI architecture, on how and show how we interact with our AI agents, the workflows, and then of course all with the purpose of helping gain human trust in what it's doing and the capabilities there. We'll have some third-party perspective from ESG and others. So please join us if you're interested in Platform One and AI, because anything you learn here will absolutely be applicable to our Platform One for MSP offering as well. So just wanted to throw that quick commercial in there. So with that, Nate, I'm going to hand it back over to you. Maybe we could field some questions.
Yeah, 100%, Dan. First of all, thank you and Allie so much for taking time out today. We really appreciate it. One of the things you touched on a little bit that I thought I would just bring up, from my personal experience working with vendors, they're trying to build an offer for a specific customer type. I feel like a lot of times they get developed in like vacuums, right? Mm-hmm. And we kind of make these assumptions around what's going to resonate or present value to that customer. And then when it gets rolled out to the market, it's not always aligned. I can tell you, I mean, we've been working together on this for 18 plus months now. I think since we signed you guys, to really make sure that the decisions, the way you're structuring the offering, all the way from the user interface to the technical elements, all the way through the financial pieces, partner journey, all of that was really aligned. I mean, I know you guys were even down at IT Nation with us, right? So I just want to commend you and the organization for really spending a lot of time to make sure that the final product here really hit the mark. So, thank you. Hopefully everyone else on the call feels the same way, for sure.
Thank you, Nate.
Another thing, yeah, 100%. Another thing I just wanted to bring up real quick too is, a lot of feedback I get, and here again, hopefully this resonates with a lot of people on the call here, is that not even just specifically with Extreme, but in general, dealing with licensing renewals and managing all that is just can be such a challenge, right? Like, I know I've talked to a number of partners that are heavily engaged with some of your competitors and things, and they literally have like full-time staff members whose singular job is to manage the licensing inventory and handle renewals. So I wanted to point out to the whole audience here that it's incredible that through this program, through your workspace interface, you can up or flex up, flex down licensing, assign licensing, totally user-based. You don't need to reach out to D&H, don't need to reach out to Extreme. If for some reason you would need to assign licensing at 2 in the morning on a Sunday, not a problem, right?
That's right.
So,
huge and Nate, I'll mention we have here's a good example to the point you're making here. We have an MSP here in the States who has a large client where they've been operating as an MSP for many years, but again, that square peg in a round hole example I gave earlier, they were using annual renewed term contracts, term licenses for the solution for their MSP, which I kid you not, there's over 12,000 devices they're managing on an average of close to 300 separate term-based contracts that all expire at different months and dates throughout the year. And it's just, so every year they've got to manage 300 term contracts, which anytime you open that up, you go for renewal, there's delay, there's debate, there's renegotiation, there's all these things. And as we're moving them and have moved them over to the consumption where they're maximizing the benefit of our MSP program, all that goes away. So what I heard from our key contact over there, 3 people now they can assign to other different tasks than managing 300 contracts.
I think me and you were, I don't think it's the same partner, but I remember me and you being on a similar call with a partner where we had to say it twice. Yeah,
that's right.
You just won't have to do this. It's not getting better. It's just totally going away, right?
That's right.
So it's incredible. And then I think you mentioned on here too the increased simplicity of the licensing as well. Essentially, it falls into 4 buckets, right? And it was something like 80% of the products fall into I think the second bucket, right? So
first bucket.
First bucket. Exactly. So just tremendously more streamlined and simplistic than here again some of the offerings we've seen from your competitors. So really impressed with the job you and Allie and Carl, who some of you may have had answer your questions today. Really put a lot of work into this. It's fantastic. I think the most obvious question here is like, how do we get started, right? So what would be next step if people want to learn more or have additional questions? Obviously, we want to talk about Platform One and the managed services program, but I want to reiterate, we love talking to partners that have any needs related to Extreme whatsoever. And we have an alias here at D&H, Extreme Networks at dnh.com. And that's really your point of entry for any type of inquiries related to all things Extreme Networks. And we're happy to help bridge the gap. Extreme, their team is extremely responsive, no pun intended, and very helpful in general. But sometimes we realize it can be hard if you're not familiar who to reach out to or whatever. So even if you're just trying to get a hold of your account manager or have questions that we ultimately need to forward to Extreme Networks as an organization, we're happy to support in partnership here and help connect the dots for all of our partners. So.
That's great.
Fantastic. Dan or Allie, anything else you wanted to maybe share in closing?
Yeah, I'll just say there was a couple of questions on here that I'll hit. One question was, is Fabric supported in Platform One? An excellent question, and the answer is absolutely yes. In fact, that is one of the biggest, call it LAN infrastructure feature adds. Is over the years we've been asked obviously to develop a cloud-based Fabric management suite. And with Platform One, we've delivered on that. So, super excited for you to see that. So it is a major milestone. And we're excited to have both an on-prem Fabric management capability, but now with Platform One, a pure cloud-based Fabric management and orchestration capability. let's see what else. Thank you for your interest. Definitely, extreme at DN. What was that, Nate? Extreme at dnh.com.
Yep. It's the word and spelled out h.com.
Yep. Perfect. So definitely reach out to Nate at that, and we'll definitely hook up with you. Competitor offering, product features, and price. So we obviously didn't have time to go through that today, but again, that's something that we can absolutely, have a conversation with you if you're interested in learning more about that. And then I think Ali mentioned the one about downgrading the amount of seats. So again, yeah, absolutely. You can flex up and down, and we take the average count over days 1 through 25. So Nate, yeah, I think that was it.
And I think I'd add just one more thing. Oh, sorry, is that Ali?
Go ahead, Ali. Yeah, I was just going to say, there's just so much to cover here. I mean, we're super excited about Platform One and our managed service provider program. It's like a lot to cover, too much to cover in a 1 hour webinar. We're hoping that there's enough here to whet your appetite to learn more, because we'd love to go into more depth in terms of the amazing capabilities that this offer has and why it's really unique in the marketplace and a huge differentiator.
Yeah, 100%, Ali. And I think maybe one of the last things, just in closing, I think many people on the call may be aware that some of your competitors right now are undergoing some major changes with their product offerings and their partner programs. So I don't see any better time to reach out to us and learn how easy it is to become an Extreme partner today, right? You guys really make that journey super, super easy and straightforward. And I think the relative to the way that your product scales all the way from S all the way up to enterprise, it really presents a compelling argument on why you guys are the right solution for so many of our D&H partners. So anyway, thank you guys so much for joining us today. I will say that this is the second in a quarterly webcast series that we're doing with you guys. So we look forward to seeing everyone next time. Thank you, everyone. Have a great day.
Thank you all. Appreciate it.
Thanks.